What's up, crypto kids, blockchain? How y'all doing today? It's Mitch, Crypto Music, just coming at y'all from Bitsgap, our favorite bot. This thing is, as good as it gets, and it's the ultimate control for controlling the market and for, having your, finger on the pulse and your, get yourself some tools, get yourself to know some know-how, and really work this thing. And this thing can act with its trailing down and all the different stuff that it's got going. It could basically act as one giant ETF, a giant crypto exchange traded fund that balances as things pump, that automatically buys the dip for you. It's got a lot of really great features and a lot of interesting things, and I love Bitsgap. And most people watching this probably been with me for a while, or at least been watching this channel for a while, or you may be in my Bitsgap crew. So, Bitsgap is awesome. For those not in the know, just a quick overview. You can use this bot for anything, to buy the dip, to, once you get good at it, you can set up a bot to capitalize on any market position anywhere. Basically just, showing what you can, just depending on the situation of the market, you have the ultimate control with this tool to kind of do anything. Now, with this new scalper bot, I think that's the best intro bot. And if you're like one of those guys that, that find like that Dan Holding guy, who I think that's a total scam, whatever, it gets you into the mix, I suppose. And, it's a terrible way to spend $4,000 for free information. But if you just did this scalper bot, you pretty much will do, it does everything for you. It's automatic and it does a fine job. It's really good at when a thing goes out of range, to quickly get back in range, because it's using micro little amounts to get to buy itself back in, and it makes it very, very effective at that. And I've been running some, I've been testing 5 scalper bots for the past month. We're going to look at those as well. You also have your combo bot. I wouldn't worry about that one for starting. That's for futures, and that just runs on Binance, so not really for the Americans anyway. Your classic grid bot is your standard bot. Doesn't use your trailing downs or any of that good stuff, but it does use the trailing up, and generally is considered, if you know the market's about to go up, you got some major news, setting up a classic bot is a great way to go, and it will eke out more returns than your S bot, if the market is generally heading in the up direction. If the market's going all over the place, up, down, or you want to set this bot as a hodl bot, and, set your grids, in a extremely wide spacing or anything like that, or you plan to leave the bot for a good long time, this S bot is the way to go. And that is how you make this whole thing turn into an exchange, a giant ETF, is by, basically you could turn this whole thing into the world's largest rebalancer bot, and that would be using, the trailing up, the trailing down, and using this S bot here. So let's start with this S bot really quick. So if you're looking to buy the dip, you basically set your bot up like that. Start the bot. When the thing dips down, it'll start the bot going. If you click this trailing up on, once it just comes down and touches that, and even if it runs up, it'll start trading, it'll get you going, and it won't buy till the price is extremely low. Now, let's say you had a whole bunch of crypto and you just wanted to sell it, but you wanted to sell it once it was, hit a certain price. Well, that's how you would set your bot up right there. Once it hit that amount, the bot would start and off it would go. I generally don't keep my grids that close. I prefer, because I found that with a 1% spacing, at least I have a much better time with the fees and all that good stuff. And, unless you're doing large amounts of money, I recommend, I would think that you would want to have at least a 1% spacing, but I've seen people do really well with the 0.6 grid spacing, and it does very well. It's up to you how long you want that to be. I think when the market is doing different things, like if the market is ranging down, or you think the market's really going to tank, and you only want to have a couple grids in the money, this would be a great way to start a bot like this. But then you could put that at like 3. See how far down you have this? Now you're buying the dip at 3% grid spacings all the way down. And that, if you think the market's likely to tank and then bounce back, setting up a big wide grid spacing like that, leaving it way down here, making sure you bought the entire bottom. It's not a bad way to go. Now, like I said, if you're holding a bunch of crypto and you just want to sell it as the price goes up, but also capitalize on the fluctuations of the market, you would set your bot something like this. Maybe give yourself a couple grids if you want to start trading right away, or even just one grid. Now, when I'm resetting bots, this is very often how I set them. Something along these lines. I might do like 1.23 grid spacing and give myself only a grid or two on the bottom down there, leave the trailing up and trailing down on. Now, if you're looking to do something a little more risky, focusing your liquidity in here into a 10 grid spacing, leaving your trailing up and trailing down on, leaving half of your money off to the side, like this currency here, the TRX, leaving half of that off to the side, or excuse me, the KCS. You want to leave half your KCS sitting off to the side so that as it fluctuates down, it's buying that KCS. Now, know that when this bot fluctuates down, when it buys down, if it comes down and buys comes lower than this and starts buying grids here because you have these trailing down, every time it adds a line, it takes a line away from here and sets it over here in the side into your balance. It might not sound very beneficial, but this can be very beneficial because what you're doing is you're taking the money that you have here over the side. Say it's USDT. You have USDT over the side. Every time that it's going down, it starts going beyond this, but you have the trailing down on. One of these lines comes over here and sits off to the side, and it creates a new USDT line to keep yourself at that 32 grids or 23 grids or however you had it set up, right? It is going to maintain those amount of grids by taking this crypto here and putting it off to the side, but that allows us an opportunity. And for instance, we can set this. I have all my bots going, right? And not that all these bots were a lot of these ranged when the market has been going crazy. It's been going crazy lately a lot, and a lot of these bots had ranged completely out. But I had something like Luna with the trailing up and trailing down as it was, earning all this crypto and spitting the Bitcoin off to the side. And some of these other bots were tanking. It was buying, this was taking that crypto off to the side, taking the profits, spitting them over here, and then using it to buy the dip on everything else because I have the trailing up and trailing down on everything. So I bought the dip across all the cryptocurrencies and benefited from Luna pumping because that gave me the BTC to buy the dip across everything. Now, when you're doing your crypto like this, where this whole thing becomes an ETF, you're not too worried about one individual bot and how well that one individual bot is doing, because even though you see this negative 22%, that just means that BitTorrent went down, and now I have a whole bunch more BitTorrent bought by the rest of the cryptos, right? And now I'm sitting on a bunch of BitTorrent, and when this thing pumps up, we'll come over here to the BitTorrent bot, when this thing finally pumps, and I reset this bot, right? Look at how well this bot traveled. I mean, this thing, it trailed up, it trailed down, it went all around with it. And this is the high frequency bot that, it's set it and forget it. You don't have to do anything. You put the amount of funds you went in there and you press start. That's basically all of it. And this would be like your Dan Holdings bot. It does it all for you. And you can see it trailed, it bought it traveled the entire market. Now, if I want to reset this bot, and now's not a bad time because we're above where I had set it from before. And when I go to reset the bot, all the crypto that had been set off to the side over here, now's a good time to put that in. So like I was saying on this, so we'll go to BTT. So all this BTT, $3,768 worth, has been set off to the side and is now ready for me to reconfigure that bot. But very often, if you just wait for the bot to pump, right? If you started the bot down here and it pumped up here and it spit off crypto because it had traded up, it traded down, traded sideways, all the crypto that set off to the side there, that through your trailing down, if you are to if you ever see the bot pumping way up high, turn the bot off and reset it and put in that capital when you're up at these upper ranges. But as long as we're down here and trading low, just wait. Utilize your patience. Utilize patience because that's what's going to pay you, right? You don't want to reset that bot while the crypto is way down. And if you do end up having to reset a bot, you only want to give yourself 1 or 2 green lines. Again, this would, not using the scalper, using the standard bot, because scalper is 100% automated. There's nothing for you to do there. So if it's way down here, you just want to wait. And if you do have to reset it, only reset for 1 or 2, maybe 3 green lines, and then wait for that thing to go up. Once you get a nice, bounce, even if it's a smaller bounce, even the difference of resetting your bot from here to here, it's major. It's a major difference. And just waiting it out, waiting for that, because the market's going to fluctuate, right? And when the market goes up, you want to reset your bots and grab all that crypto that had been set off to the side and put it back into your bot. Another option is that when this crypto is off to the side and you see a bot pumping, but you have some other cryptos ranging out, like this one's ranged out on USDT here, but maybe this XYO has pumped up a little bit. Let's go to that XYO real quick. So this XYO is a good example. We really set that bot today. Of course, it would have been better if I reset it when it was up here, but we're way down here right now, but I'm still above this bottom range where most of the trading and the start of the bot had happened. So it traded all around and it spit a bunch of this XYO off to the side. And now when we get over here and we reset that bot, that's the time to dump all that XYO back into your bot and resettle a bunch of that back into Bitcoin. But if the bot was down here and it had ranged out and I was way out of range, I would only want to give it 1 or 2 green lines just to get it back to trading. And the idea with that is, if say Bitcoin's at $10,000, say Bitcoin's at $20,000, just make this nice and easy, and you sold your entire, let's say you bought all your Bitcoin at 30 grand, but Bitcoin went down to 20 grand and you're underwater on that Bitcoin right now, but Bitcoin's going to 10 grand. So you sold all your Bitcoin, you bought it all at 30, you sold it at 20, and then you bought it all back at 10. It was a risky move. You sold Bitcoin for less than what you bought it for, but you knew it was going lower, so you ended up with even more Bitcoin, right? Makes sense, right? Same thing happens here. Even though, say the bot had gotten back down into this range, back down into the lower range, but it ranged all the way out. And you think it's going to drop down even more. Resettling, selling a couple of these topper lines to get a couple more green lines to get that bot trading is going to be worth it, because you basically did the same thing we just talked about with the guy who sold his Bitcoin at 30 grand, bought it at 30 grand, sold it at 20, bought it all back at 10. He ended up with double the amount of Bitcoin that he had, even though he had sold it at a loss. That's the same type of thing I'm talking about here. So even though I'm way in advance right here, right? If I sell a couple red lines and put in some more green lines, you'll see what I'm saying. And then it drips down even more, comes back up. I've rebought, I've sold it. It's got the bot trading. I think you understand what I'm saying there. So using this whole thing as a giant ETF is not the worst thing in the world to do. And it's been working for me quite well. Now, when you do that, you really want to be keeping your eye on your portfolio, because this is the money that matters, right? I started this account with 25 grand, by the way, and I've withdrawn a whole bunch. Anyway, this would be the number you're looking for, because basically what happens as you're buying, selling, and trading, and like on that BTT I showed you, 22% down. That's buying the dip. I like this number here right now. It sucks if they all have that, but right now it's down there. It's buying the dip for me, and this one's buying the dip. This one's buying the dip. And, you have to look at these numbers for what they are. Don't always concern yourself with this red number. For instance, if you had set up a bot like, if you had set up a bot like this with only the crypto that you had and you're waiting for it to sell, any red that you would see here would actually be gains, right? This 22% would be 22% profit because I had set the bot up like this, and as it went up, it was buying and selling that, but it saw that as a loss, right? So I think you see what I'm saying, that these numbers are more important for what you're doing, and you want to keep an eye, use them for what they are. Depending on how you set the bot, depends on whether this number is a beneficial number or not. They say this crypto went all the way down, but if I had this crypto for 4 months and I put the put it, I bought it way down here and I set the bot up way out here. No, none of that red is losses, right? It's all just stuff that it's all actually profits. So I think you understand what I'm saying. These numbers are, you utilize them the way that you want. And then also the way that this keeps the money inside here, these are skewed. All this crap is skewed. In order to know what you really have in the bot, you need to turn it off and restart the damn thing, because this is including the money that it kicked off to the side. No one in my group is happy that they do the calculations this way. And they used to not do them that way, and we liked it a lot better, but whatever. All right, so let's take a look at the scalper bots real quick. I kind of got them all batched up together, starting from right here on MTV, Multivac USDT. Multivac is a great crypto. They got a lot going on and a lot of spring-loaded positive action there. Now, this has been pretty low. I've had this running for now 1 month and 5 days. And it's made 0.2. Now, it ranged out for long periods of times, but I never, I did add a little bit of USDT by selling off a little bit of crypto when everything had gotten super crazy, and got these all retrading. So there was days where they were out, but, for the 1 month, it has averaged 0.2% a day for a month. Not bad. On Exceed Me, 0.14. Now, these are USDT cash bots. I'm not the biggest fan of cash bots. I prefer crypto to crypto bots because, no matter what happens, tanking crypto or whatever, if you're, not in BTC or not in Ethereum and you're trading other cryptos, like you have a base currency of something like Tron or KCS, or maybe you're using BNB, depending on what exchange you're on, using those cryptos, especially using an exchange token, can very often keep you in trading when USDT has everything off the field, right? Everything's ranged way the hell out, but you could still be in the play using those other cryptos. We have past videos going over all that. And for a long time, I had ran all my bots on against KCS until KCS decided to, go from $5 to $20 and put me in a world of pain. It did raise the overall value of my account, but bots kept ranging out. VRA is a wonderful crypto that is veracity, and they're going to benefit from all the NFT stuff going on and a lot of different Web3 things. It's a killer crypto, super undervalued. I think it's got a large move in price in the upward direction coming before long. Now, I am trading every single Tron pair that they pretty much have. I have the KLV Tron. I am also trading Tron against KCS. I'm trading Tron against NFT, Tron against WIN, and I'm also trading 2 different BTT tokens. I'm trading BTT against Tron, and also right here, and I'm also trading BTT versus USDT in one of these scalpers. So there's that. Now, the scalpers have been going great. Remember that I started these scalpers with $200 each. So I started this Multivac, this Exceed Me, and this BTT USDT, each with $200 a pop. And then I put in more for the BTT TRX and the FTM USDT. I put in quite a bit more. Now, all of the cryptos that it supposedly collected is all over here off to the side, because I have not, I didn't sell any of that. I didn't do anything to it, and I haven't had to mess with those bots. I never had to reset them. I'm very impressed with the scalper bot as far as, a set it and forget it bot, especially for someone very new to this. I would recommend, the way I would run it is I set your scalper bots up with half of the money that you have available and leave the other half in USDT off to the side and wait for it, and then put the trailing up and trailing downs on. I think they come automatically on the scalper bot, and let it do its thing. Leave your funds over there and let your funds do the trading for you. So if you were like just holding Bitcoin, having yourself a bunch of scalper bots with Bitcoin as the base currency, you would want to set half of your Bitcoin. You want to leave it in your account over here so that the bots have something to feed off of as the market does its thing and goes crazy, right? And then all the crypto that it sets off to the side, you can kind of decide whatever you want to do with that. I personally would wait for pumps before selling. There's another thing you could do here where you core compound with all the cryptos you have off to the side. And kind of what I do is, I got all my cryptos over here, got my whole little portfolio for my bot portfolio sitting here. And there's different ways to choose how to get into cryptos or which ones are best, and using different indicators. I highly recommend using the volatility screener on TradingView. I have a past Bitsgap bot video about that. That one is golden. That one tells you exactly how to get the best pairs earning the highest funds, but whatever. So Scalper's been doing good, and I gotta say I'm impressed with those for beginner bots. And as far as like just having extra bots, because I got 20 of those bots and then 5 of those bots, just having those extra bots sit there and do their thing and not have to worry about them, I'm a big fan of having those 5 extra scalpers. Now, if they made me take the 5 bots out of my 20, I probably wouldn't use the scalpers at all. I would stick with the regular bots because I have much more control and I know what I'm doing, right? Okay, going through a couple other of these cryptos, Exceed Me is going to benefit massively from all things NFT and then gaming and all that good stuff. That is a great crypto, and I'm way more into the underlying assets on NFTs. I don't bother buying and selling JPEGs unless I super really love them, right? Other than that, I'm more interested in the underlying technology and benefiting from the NFT craze and the gaming craze that way, by not getting into the individual games, but getting into those technologies and the platforms that those innovations are going to use. Exceed Me, VRA, both fall into that. BitTorrent is definitely falling in that. Remember, BitTorrent is making a web, is got a hub chain. They're basically doing like a Cosmos type thing. And we all know that Justin Stun, stepped down from Tron and is now becoming like a politician. But it's still gonna be good for Tron, right? Because Tron's gonna get a different CEO, one that doesn't have so much baggage, and one that doesn't have so many people, who think he's a scammer. Which, you get a bad reputation, it's hard to get past. And so, if you could get another CEO in there that might do a lot for Tron. So right now I have a lot of Tron pairs trading, and I got some different Tron bots over on CoinEx as well. So I have every Tron pair trading, everything in the ecosystem of Tron up here trading, including Tron versus KCS right here, which I just started that bot. So a lot of good stuff. Tel has got a lot of good things going. I think I'm pretty bullish on Tel, and it is a major trader. You can see I got Tel ETH here and Tel BTC. This Tel ETH has been trading for 19 days at 1.84%. Now, a lot of these I let range out for a while, so the percentages would be a lot higher, but they spent multiple days, sitting with their nose in the corner. So not exactly accurate on the number of days. And that's one thing that the trailing up and trailing down has done, is it makes it to where, when I was resetting the bots a lot more, this number here was often higher because you weren't seeing any time out, right? There was no time with the nose in the corner represented in this percentage here. It was just 100% trading, but most of these bots have had some time not trading, and I sent in a little, sold a little funds, and it's funny when you have a whole bunch that's traded out and you sell something into USDT. It's like pigs to a trough, man. They just all run in there and they want every little bite that they could get, and they just start eating, and they all buy the dip at once, and it's pretty nice, but it is like a bunch of pigs at a trough. Moving on, CRO. I think there's a lot of beneficial stuff coming for CRO, and so having a bot benefit from all that. I started out with a big wide bot buying in, and I had that against USDT. I let that run for a while. I turned that off, and now I've got that switched over to trading Bitcoin for the past 28 days, and it's made 0.24%. Of course, it has sat off to the side a bunch. Strong has been up, down, all over the place, and I'm just trying to use this to build up 10 strong, and so far off to this so that I could go and buy a node, and it's got me 1.66 strong over here off to the side. And yeah, just let it do its thing. I did have to reset it one time when it pumped. I put all of the strong back in there, and it actually earned me a bunch of USD that got my other bots trading. So strong was a strong performer, but it was helping my other bots. KSM, of course, I think I'm more bullish on KSM than I am on DOT, and understanding the way that it's more where the crazy stuff's going to happen, right? Like it says, expect chaos, expect innovation, a place for wild innovation. And it's much easier to get in on Kusama than it is to get on Polkadot. And so I think that Kusama, with the tokenomics and the much, much smaller supply, I think it's got a great chance of seeing higher gains than DOT sees. So we'll see. FX. Now that one I'm super bullish on. FX just started a money market. And, if you're into the L1, song and dance, that that once they open up with dexes and they start locking up the tokens and they come out with a money market, that's when the price really moves. Well, they're just about to launch the dex. It's not out yet, but it's about to be. And they've announced a $100 million money market that's going to be going to developers. And so I would expect a lot of bullish stuff coming from FX. Toko, I'm big on Toko, and it is the best trading pair against KCS that I've ever found. Energy Watt Token is the other really great trader against KCS, and I'm bullish on that one as well. But right now I'm trading Toko. Toko is paired up with Kadia Chain, and they're super bullish and super underknown, small market cap, and a lot going on there. Trios, I get more and more bullish on Trios the more I dig into it. Gamification of DeFi and major stuff coming. They have 300 people working on that project full time. It was China based, but they're kind of trying to they're smart about the the jurisdiction, so they're getting the hell out of there. And so I'm bullish on Trios and want to get going on with a bigger bot here. Want to add a few more grand. All right, let's go ahead and reset one bot while we're here. We're going to reset this XYO BTC bot and take all the XYO we have off to the side and add it back in. So we had the bot going here. It ranged up, traded a bunch, ranged down, and then stopped trading. Bounced up again, grabbed a few more trades, and it gave itself a little bit to buy here, and now it's out of business, right? So I would generally like for this to pop to about, some previous, to this level of support here. But as long as I got y'all here, let's go ahead and reset this bot. So we're going to cancel all open orders by pressing confirm. That's stopping the bot. It's turning everything off, and it's taking my crypto and sticking it all back over here off to the side. So you could come over here to your history of bots, click on that and press modify and restart. But I happen to know that I can try about 10 different times to start the bot this way, and it's only going to work maybe 2 out of 10 times. So that's annoying. So go back over to spot bots. Don't use that button that says modify and restart, and just come over here and press start a new bot. SBot. And that's exactly what we want. XYO versus BTC. I'm going to set up a 1.23 grid. And what do we got here? Let's go look at our XYO. With the XYO, we're sitting at 102,000 XYO. So how much do we want to sell? We're going to turn the trailing up on, turn the trailing down on. I'm willing to buy this crypto as far down as it will go, so that's not important to me. I want as much XYO for the long term as I can possibly get. I don't need 33 separate grids. I'm happy to do a lot less than that. I also don't need a whole bunch of Bitcoin down here because I'm not too worried about it dropping all the way down. And if it does, well, hopefully our trailing down will have some Bitcoin to sell for us. So I'm sitting here at 14 grids, 1.23 spacing. Let's go ahead and add a couple more grids to that. I'm liking that right there. So we're going to sell off this XYO and hopefully we'll come back down, trade a bunch in here, and get us back into working profits. And it's that simple. If you're looking to set up a bot for long term, you want to spread these things out, possibly spread these out some more. Not too important, but it is important that you spread your funds out. I am looking to focus my liquidity, which is the true power of this bot. Just like, Uniswap version 3, where you can focus your liquidity down on anything. So 18 grids, 1.23 spacing. I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe keep a little bit more XYO Then that right about there is looking good. Got a nice line of support. And you see, I didn't use a bunch of indicators. I didn't turn on all my indicators and look at them. I could have, but I already knew I wanted to trade this pair. So I'm really just setting up for the market how it is. Looking to sell off a little bit of this crypto into Bitcoin and then have it come back and buy it for even cheaper, right? There you go. Preview. Confirm. Sell off a whole bunch of your XYO. Go right ahead. Now, you want to be careful starting big bots on strange pairs, especially like a KCS pair, like GRT KCS. You would rather go in, buy all your KCS on Bitcoin KCS and buy all your GRT on Bitcoin GRT and then put those together in a bot. Don't go on the KCS GRT pairing and, dump 1,000 KCS buying your GRT. You will be destroyed with slippage. Stick with your bigger pairings when you're grabbing the crypto, but setting up a bot on something that is not used like that, it actually makes you the market, right? It makes you the market and you're going to profit bigly. All right, so done. That one is all set up. We now have this XYO BTC bot set, $3,700, and it's going to start cranking and seeing what it can do. I do run a little group, and you get free signals in that group. That's for people who are on my Bitsgap team. They're under me. Basically, what we do is I take all of the referral commissions that I get from Bitsgap, every single penny, plus I've actually added in more than the same amount again, and buy signals. And we buy the best signals and we put them in the group. We're going to be adding another signal service here before long. But right now we got, 2 or 3 really great signal services in there. And that's, adds a bonus for my team. Plus, if you got any questions, any of that, and really great people, if you're kind of a, like a whiner, then don't join me. Join one of those other guys. But if you're just a cool cat who's trying to, make it in this crypto world and all that good stuff, come join me. We'll get you, join me on Bitsgap here, and we'll get you into my trading group, and you get you all those free signals, and you can ask any questions and hang out with like the coolest people you'll ever meet. So anyway, like, subscribe, all that jazz. It's crypto music. Gonna catch you guys on the flip. I know this was a big, long, rambly Bitsgap video. I actually plan to make a whole bunch more Bitsgap videos on the regular, try to help you guys out a little bit that way. And I've been a little lazy about it, stuck in DeFi, but getting out of that now. Anyway, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Catch you guys on the next one, and I'm out.